Ya-Qin, thank you so much for joining us. It's great to have you here.
Nice to be here.
So you have a Seattle office, or you're opening a Seattle office tied to a startup that you're buying, an AI startup. So tell me about your new Seattle office, how big it is, and what you're going to do there.
Yeah, so we are starting a new R&D center in Seattle, actually in downtown Bellevue, about 10 minutes from here. So we acquired a small company called Kit.ai, which does amazing work in conversational platform and hardware detection. But also we are building expertise in cloud computing and AI. And Seattle, of course, is one of the major tech hubs in the world. It boasts about 100,000 experts in IT and cloud computing. It also has a wonderful university. University of Washington has one of the top computer science programs in the country and globally.
How do you think AI will change the future and the future of Baidu?
Mm-hmm. Well, AI is the single most important force of our time. And obviously expand the envelope of the IT and the internet industry. It also creates a new economy, like autonomous driving, and obviously it transforms traditional industry. So it is critical for Baidu. It's critical, for the entire industry.
Elon Musk has warned about the dangers of AI, the possibility that robots could surpass the human race. What do you think the dangers of AI are?
Yeah, well, if you look at all the technology, we are building, it's going to expand, augment, humans' capability. It's not going to replace the human, so there's no point of panicking. However, we need to be conscious of some of the issues and challenges. Some jobs will be displaced, some companies will disappear. And so we just want to make sure as we evolve with automation, with more intelligence, that we don't leave these people behind, have a smoother transition. But I don't think AI is going to destroy the world. It will make the world better.
You're opening another facility in Silicon Valley for AI, for self-driving cars, in part to recruit talent. What is the competition for AI and self-driving car talent like? Why would someone work for Baidu when they could go work for Tesla or Google or Apple?
Well, if you look at the talent in AI, autonomous driving, it is quite competitive. And that's why we have offices in Silicon Valley, 2 offices in Silicon Valley. We have an office in Seattle, and we have R&D centers in 4 different places in the world. And we recruit from top universities, Stanford, UW, MIT, and Berkeley.
How competitive is it? I mean, like when you're fighting over a candidate who, has an offer from Tesla or an offer from Google.
Right. We're pretty happy. So far, we have a group of top talents, whether it's from university or from industry. Well, look, there are only a few companies who are the best in AI technologies, and Baidu is one of them. And Baidu also has a big engineering team that are able to bring these technologies into product and services. And we have a huge market in China, and we're the leader in China, and we are expanding globally. So if somebody is passionate about technology, about AI, and want their technologies to be used in real products, Baidu is the company.
Give us an update on your self-driving car efforts. When will we see Baidu's self-driving cars on the road in mass numbers?
In the beginning, obviously, we've been working this for a number of years. We started our road test 2 years ago. And half a year ago, we decided to open our technology and the code to the public, and we call it Apollo. So Apollo is the most powerful and it's open and a secure platform that developers and the partners can use, can build upon things. And it's been phenomenal. 6 months after, we have over 70 partners, not only in China, but also globally. Car makers, and OEM partners, service providers. So it's been just phenomenal.
So what's the timeline?
We're not going to build the cars by ourselves. We're going to work with car makers and partners. You will see cars probably as early as next year. And I would say in 3 or 5 years, you will see some of the cars on the street as commercial vehicles. Just last month, we began to put a lot of new technologies into the Apollo platform. Perceptions, the road planning, high definition mapping, end-to-end machine learning, all this technology there. So this will accelerate the whole industry. If you look at a lot of companies, they are building a lot of the repetitive products. With Apollo, they actually can build upon this and can innovate on their own strength.
What about your electric car push? What's the progress on that, especially as the Chinese government is moving to limit gasoline cars?
That will be another dimensional transformation. So if you look at the cars, automobile industry next 5 years, new energy, electricity driven. It's the ride sharing and also AI play a bigger role. So we are fully behind that, and obviously we are not making cars per se. But if you look at all the machine learning capability, all the technology, perception, high definition mapping, those will help electric cars more than the hybrid or the gasoline cars.
Your streaming service, iQIYI, is aiming to go public in 2018 at an $8 billion valuation. What are your expectations?
I'm not going to comment on the rumor. But iQIYI is the leading video company in China. As kind of a combination of YouTube, Netflix, and Hulu here in the U.S. And it's a critical part of the Baidu search and the content ecosystem. And it's amazing, right now there's 7 billion, people spend 7 billion hours a month watching those videos and the programs. So we'll continue to be a critical part of our product and services.
Alibaba and Tencent have their own streaming services. What is your content strategy? How much do you intend to spend to get new content?
Mm-hmm. Well, we do pay a lot of royalties, for the contents, whether it's syndicated TV shows or it's PGCs. But we also produce our own contents, and we're probably going to spend more money in producing our own contents. The whole space is super competitive, but I'm very glad iQIYI is taking a leadership position, and that will benefit Baidu and our industry tremendously.
How much do you tend to invest in original content?
Yeah, I'm not going to tell you. But investing in the original content is a key strategy for iQIYI. But if you look at iQIYI, the membership subscription increased tremendously. There increase from ads, but also from the membership. And the people like original content, and the people pay for content. So it is a part of our core strategy to invest in content, buy contents, and to also produce our own contents.
Google, Facebook, and Twitter are under fire in the U.S. for fake news, spreading misinformation. What is Baidu's responsibility here and Baidu's plan to combat that kind of thing?
Yeah. Well, fake news is a global challenge, and there's no exception in China. And every year we receive somewhere around 3 billion claims, requests that we need to verify that might turn out to be fake news. So it's a huge challenge. We are using a combination of our technology and also content authorization to minimize the fake news. So work with authorities, work with, for example, the Food and the Drug Administration, work with Association of Science and Technology, with Cyber Authority to minimize that.
I understand you have like hundreds of cyber cops, right? Actual people that are looking at information. Is that correct?
Now, first we use the technology. A lot of things we talk about, AI, able to help us do the screening. But after you do the screening, you have to make sure the source are authentic. And so we work with, as I mentioned, the different organizations like Association of Science and Technology and the Cyber Authority to make sure those contents are authentic, real, and then of high quality. So we have an obligation to make sure that the user gets good contents, but it continued to be a challenge for us, for other companies in China, and for companies in the US.
So the Chinese government recently cracked down on yet another US social network, WhatsApp. And I'm curious what you think about the latest crackdown and whether it's different than it's been in the past.
Yeah, I haven't followed all the news. And if you look at the whole internet space in China, it's vibrant, very dynamic, whether it's Alibaba, Tencent, or Baidu. In China, people call it the BATs, continue to grow tremendously. And the other companies that also doing really well. So overall, the internet industry is booming in China. However, when you operate in any region, whether it's China or outside of China, there are regulations, policies, any company need to abide by. But overall, if you look at China, just the high-tech industry, internet industry, are doing extremely well.
Do you think that after the next Communist Party Congress, that the rules will lighten up, that censorship will let up, or that it will continue to go in this direction?
Well, if you look at the trajectory, the overall direction, right, China is becoming more open than ever before. And technology industry is growing phenomenally.
Is that the case, though? I mean, when I was in China, Facebook and Twitter were allowed, Google was allowed, and then they all got shut down.
Yeah. One thing is, obviously, there's a lot of momentum in China for the internet industry, but also it's hugely competitive. Look at the search space we are. There are more search companies in China than US. US, you have Google and Bing. In China, BATs, Baidu, Alibaba, Tencent all have search technology, search business. And then you have probably half a dozen other companies doing search. And every day there are new technologies that compete with us in search. And the whole competition is scorching, it's fierce, it's intense. But I think it's a good thing. It makes us more constructive, innovative. And the Bing is also in China, by the way.
How would you characterize the health of the Chinese economy, particularly the pileup of debt? Do you see a big risk there?
Yeah. Well, overall, Chinese economy is very resilient, and the 6.9% growth in the GDP on such a big, large base, it's amazing. So overall, I don't see a systematic risk. There might be things here or there need to fix. But overall, I'm very confident. I'm not an economist, but for the industry I am in, for the people I talk with, overall, it seems quite healthy. Let me also say this. China is more open in terms of talent, in terms of the trade, and also in terms of high-tech companies. So that's why we set up labs here, right, in Seattle and in Silicon Valley. And that's why if you look at the Seattle area, Alibaba has a lab, Huawei has a lab, Tencent has a lab, we have a lab. There are quite a few companies doing that. And all companies want to become global companies, and that in terms of talents, market, and product and services.
Are you concerned at all about President Trump cracking down on free trade and cracking down on the relationship with China?
That's really bad. If that happens, America benefits from openness, from talent flow. Any form of protectionism will be bad for U.S. and the world.